Hello everyone. In one of my earlier episodes, I spoke about the sadness. I stated that loneliness brings sadness as well. The emotional needs and feelings are connected with each other. Each emotion has something to do with the other. And I stated to overcome certain stages of sadness, we have to try to be alone for temporary periods and make space for our inner space, self-awareness and guidance. And it helps us to improve our mental and physical well-being by addressing the reasons. Being alone and being lonely aren't the same. Loneliness feels draining, distracting, and upsetting. Being alone or solitude is enjoying being alone by choice and no feeling of loneliness. It's aloneness, examination of one's own thoughts and feelings, and completeness. So let's take these two areas and understand them as to the facts and reasons and how to address them in order to overcome if needed and why it's needed. Firstly, let's take the positive isolation. That is solitude. That means being alone or remote from the society by choice. There are three types of positive isolation. One is the need to distance oneself from others from time to time, and it allows us to know what we want to do with our lives, goals and likes, and don't like or need. The disappointments and unpleasant experiences too could lead to a positive isolation of a person and become positive and achieve the desired fulfillment. Learning to be alone and enjoying your own company can be very beneficial. It helps us to know ourselves and grow as people. It lets us to listen to ourselves, and it's the key to develop creative ideas. Since we are alone, it helps our minds to wander more freely and explore more freely. And with no choice, also some need to isolate themselves due to lack of common interest or chemistry and grow themselves to the fullest potential by discovering talents and abilities. Since the peace of mind contributes to renew and restore our mental and physical status. I know this personally as a true factor. And the third type of solitude or isolation is to have freedom to increase spirituality. And this state is often desired or destined, happened with heart full of happiness on the perceptions, motives or objectives. Example, hermitage monks isolate themselves to be lonely to meditate. The people who set aside time to be alone tend to be happier than who are not. Better life satisfaction and lower level of stress. They are also less likely to have depression. The negative side of isolation is what we call as loneliness. Negative isolation is often involuntary and undesired at the time it occurs. There are four main types of negative isolation which affect people in many different ways. We can categorize into four main areas. First one is the emotional loneliness. Second one is the social loneliness. Third one is the situational loneliness. And the fourth is chronic loneliness. Loneliness that persists for a long period of time is called chronic loneliness. Loneliness is a complex human emotion and feelings of anguish in the absence of real or perceived social contact, satisfactory social relations. People with loneliness show deep feeling of emptiness, worthlessness, and depressive symptoms. Overall, every human being feels lonely from time to time due to the reasons and factors we face in life. And loneliness often reflects the absence of right connection, not the absence of people. It's related to the quality of closeness, not the quantity. And some prefer to stay as a loner without seeking any human interactions, and their behavior appear odd to others. Let's talk about the emotional loneliness first. We all have a number of emotional connections all throughout our life, isn't it? Emotional support is needed all throughout our life. Attachments with parents, siblings, friends, relatives, spouses, children, etc. Emotional loneliness is a result of the loss of a bond with a loved and close connection. This could occur due to social isolation as well. Some are reluctant to discuss most of our personal matters with immediate family members. Such should have at least another person whom they could rely on. This is a major factor in unhappiness. We all need to be able to confide, feel like we belong, be able to get and give support, etc. Strong relationships are key to happiness. Social loneliness. Our society has changed. We seek instant happiness. We don't invest time on social relationships, but invest time on social media or networks. And this refers to the absence of social relationships which we feel we belong. Lack of self-esteem, self-confidence bring the loneliness as well. Self-limiting thoughts, false beliefs, fear of rejection, feeling lost in a crowd, always wanting others to approach you and expecting others to make the first move to shut down us from connecting and interacting with the society. Without conveying the true feelings, draws and isolate a person, and it leads to get angry with the people close to you. Ultimately, no one bothers to care. So let's take the situational loneliness as well. Situational loneliness often gets better with time, and it's not affecting the person very seriously if understood with wisdom. Relocations, retirements, physical or intellectual disabilities, language barrier, death of a spouse or loved ones, incapability to participate in activities due to financial or other reasons, spending days alone looking after small children, or spending old age alone after the children are gone, lack of purpose and meaning in life, etc. So let's talk about the chronic loneliness as well. Deep-rooted negative feelings and isolation go on for a long period of time. In above 3 types of loneliness lead to chronic loneliness, and eventually affects and leads to severe mental and physical issues. Deep feeling of emptiness and worthlessness, anxiousness or restlessness, sleeping disorders, tiredness and low energy, eating disorders, constant body pains and headaches, always feel hopelessness and drained are the few issues which lead to severe health issues which shouldn't be left unattended, such as depression, suicidal feelings, high blood pressure, high cholesterol level, heart diseases, diabetics, and addictions to substances and wrong behaviors could occur. So let's see how to overcome loneliness before it reaches to chronic loneliness level. According to what I believe and trust, the main ingredient is the simple life. Stay in touch with your loved ones, especially your home. Choose fulfilling and rewarding activities. Enjoy outside. It helps to improve our mood. Doing shopping, attending to social functions, involving in community work by joining a club or otherwise, learning a new skill or study a subject of your liking and make use of them could also help. Helping others is a great way to help yourself to feel more connected. Pets are wonderful companions who provide comfort and support during the time of stress, isolation, or ill health. Moreover, staying away from any kind of electronic devices is a must, and engage more in active activities as above. Then no time to worry about loneliness. These tips would certainly help before the negative factors reach to the level where the treatment is needed. Talking to mental health professionals could help to teach the tips to cope and make positive changes or guide for medical treatments. It's true that we are social species and we need others, but we cannot depend on others to be happy all the time. It's never effective. We are responsible for our own happiness. Happiness comes within us. May the Triple Gem bless you all. Let's meet in our next episode. Thank you.